Hello guys, and the title of this video is Little Words because our language is not just shaped by verbs and nouns and adjectives and pronouns and so on, but there are also all these like little words that are like glue. Um, we could probably deal without them, but they really add a lot of um, extra expression that without them would feel kind of insufficient. So maybe they don't transmit essential information, or maybe sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. But they add, richness, and they let us express ourselves more clearly, and they make us easier for our audience to follow our logic, our way of thinking. So let me briefly go over them. Um, we start with the word cock. Cock means how. It can be a question word, but just like in English, it can also be a word of emphasis. Like, for example, look how big this house is. In Russian, we can use it the same way. And какой is um, is this word как, but when applied to adjectives. So um, как is more for verbs and adverbs, but this is for but this is to like to emphasize adjectives, and you'll see what I mean. I think I go through all the examples. The same applies. The same kind of a relationship is between tak and takoi. Tak means several things. It can mean so, like for example, you do it so well. It can also be interpreted as like this or like that. Um, and again, tak is more reserved for talking about verbs or adverbs, and takoi is for emphasizing adjectives. And it has to agree to the gender of the adjective. So it can be takoi, but it can also be takaya, takoi, or takia if it's plural, like all the adjectives. We also have еще. We talked about it. In some situations, it could mean more. It can also mean still. It can also mean yet. Um, and then there's даже. Даже, its meaning is uh, pretty much one to one with the word even in English, but even in the sense of um, like emphasizing something. Like even he can be right sometimes. I don't know. I just made that up, but in that sense, not like an even number, or not like an even not even in terms of, as an equal, but even as an emphasis. Then we have уже, which pretty much always means already. We have только, which means only. We have только что. If you followed the other videos, I already mentioned it in some other video. And только что means just, as in something just happened. Now, it does not mean just in terms of justice or some other ways, maybe in English, but it only means it as in something that just happened. And now, taken by itself, только means only, and что means what. So it's like, it doesn't really make sense uh, when if you don't know about this combination and you just read them, verbatim by themselves, it might not make sense. But just know that these words together, только что, they should be interpreted as just. And then we also have тоже. Тоже is to, or also. Let's see. And to not in the sense of something being excessive, but in the sense of also. All right. Yeah, see, This will make more sense as we go through practice, and that's why we do practices. Well, one of the several reasons we do practices because talking about it is still kind of fuzzy, especially because some of these words do not translate to English one to one. Like sometimes it can mean this word, it can be translated as this word, sometimes as the other word. So it makes it a little, maybe a while to get used to. But even if you don't master it after this practice, you know, don't, I wouldn't worry about it. At this level, we just want to be aware that these words exist and just get some practice in using them. I think to use them efficiently and to use them like effectively to the full capability, it takes just a while to get that sense of the language. We're not going for that right now. We're just going for being aware of them and just pronouncing them and using them in specific situations. All right, here we go. Even his friend does not want to speak with him. So for this one, you would need to know how to say his. You would need to know how to say with him. Um, if you are not, if you're still fuzzy about this stuff, you can review my videos on this channel entitled "With Pronoun" is one of them, and the other is about possessive pronouns. So that's going with pronoun is going to cover this, and possessive pronoun is going to cover this. Even his friend does not want to speak with him. Даже его друг не хочет говорить с ним. Даже его друг не хочет говорить с ним. Even her mother does not want to give her money. Даже ее мама не хочет давать ей деньги. Даже ее мама не хочет давать ей деньги. I just realized I don't think we ever went over the verb to give or to be giving in this case. It's давать. I should have put that on the previous slide. Now in this case, we will be using another word for give, but this one will be dать. The difference is that давать is imperfect. It implies a continuous action. But dать is to have given. It's perfect. It implies a completed action. Did he give you enough? Now, also in Russian, when we give someone, we give to someone. So you will be using a dative case pronoun for this, which is the same pronoun that we use for when we talk about нравится or нужно, that we use for our нравится or нужно expressions. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's everything. Did he give you enough? Yes, and even more. One more thing. Yeah, this is informal. Он дал тебе достаточно? Да, и даже больше. Он дал тебе достаточно? Да, и даже больше. Is he still here? Now, let's also remember that in class for here, I've been using the word tut because it pairs up really well with the word tam, which means there. But just as often people use the word здесь, здесь. These tut and здесь are synonymous. So try saying it with both. One with one and one with the other. Он еще тут. Он еще здесь. I hope you remember that in present tense, the verb to be often is not mentioned in Russian. So that's why you're not seeing it anywhere here. Он еще тут. Он еще здесь. Is it enough for you, or do you want more? Now, instead of for you, let's go with to you. So we will be using dative case pronoun again. And this is informal. And to make it easier to translate, we can just drop is it. So pretend like it's not there. Pretend it like it says, enough for you, or do you want more? Тебе достаточно или еще хочешь? Тебе достаточно или еще хочешь? If you said достаточно тебе или еще хочешь, that's fine. Probably maybe you were tempted to use the word больше instead of еще here, and that's also fine. Yeah, if you said тебе достаточно или хочешь больше, that's also fine. So several ways to say it, but I wanted to use еще here because that's the word we're practicing right now. I so want to be there again. Or I so want to be there one more time. Let's use, do you remember how to use еще together with the word for time, but not time as in continuous time, but time as in an occurrence in time? Um, so that's the expression I'm looking for here. And also now in English, I guess we do want to talk like that. I so want to be there again. But the reason I phrase it this way is because it's easier to translate directly for a specific word that I'm looking for. I so want to be there one more time. Я так хочу быть там еще раз. Я так хочу быть там еще раз. Now, in English, I so want, and we don't hear it as often, but in Russian, we will often hear я так хочу. That's a very common way of like magnifying your want, of emphasizing it. Я так хочу быть там еще раз. Now, how old is she? I don't think we went over this. You are actually asking how much to her, or how many years to her. Yeah, how many years to her. Yeah, how many years to her? So she will be in the dative case pronoun. She is 7 years old. Your daughter is already so big. and this is formal. There's a lot here. Maybe you could take time to write it out on a piece of paper so you fit it all at once. A lot to keep in your head. Сколько ей лет? Ей 7 лет. Ваша дочь уже такая большая. So this is a case where we're using the word такой to emphasize how big the daughter is, and we're like magnifying this adjective. So we're agreeing it to the gender of the adjective, which is feminine because we're talking about the daughter, who is obviously female. We also have to agree the possessive pronoun, which is formal. What else? We're using the dative case pronoun to tell how old somebody is. That's the standard way to do it. I feel a little bad because I'm throwing a lot at you here. We haven't gone over that stuff. So I don't know. Those of you who like the challenge, maybe you like it. Those of you who um, maybe are feeling like this is too much, would be annoyed by it. Sorry. Didn't mean to. I just got excited making these. Gave you a little more than I maybe planned to. Whoop, jumped too fast. It doesn't work like that. And for a more natural sounding, translated in this order, it like that doesn't work. Это так не работает. Это так не работает. Oh, how he needs to get this done until tomorrow. Until, the preposition until is do. Do. Um, Now in English we say or. In Russian, we can also say or, but sometimes they say ach. And what else? Now to get this done, I really wanted to emphasize the completion here. So I could have just said to do, and I think it would be understood that usually when there's a deadline that something needs to be completed. But just to be sure, I phrased it in a way to get this done. But what I'm really looking for is the verb to do in the perfect form. Ах, как ему нужно сделать это до завтра. Ах, как ему нужно сделать это до завтра. You are such a good friend. Let's see. Now we can phrase this just like in English. We can emphasize this with the word so, or actually with the word such or the word how. We'll have to change the word order a little bit, like how good of a friend you are. We can use the word how to emphasize, or we can use um, the word such to emphasize. And in Russian, we can do the same. Such is the equivalent for такой, and how is the equivalent for какой when we're emphasizing an adjective. Try to come up with both versions of this sentence. One using the word такой and one with какой. You are such a good friend. And I believe this is informal. Yeah, this is informal. Какой ты хороший друг. Ты такой хороший друг. Russian usually is pretty flexible with the word order, but in this case, this is how it sounds natural with the word какой, and this is how it sounds natural with the word такой. If you said такой ты хороший друг, that's yeah. I mean, it's all fine. Yeah, this is just the most natural ways of saying it. Now let me see with какой. Uh, ты какой хороший друг. You will be understood. You will be understood. But the most natural way of word order is the way that I gave it. He just arrived by car. And for arrived, when arriving by some sort of a vehicle, we are using to have arrived by some sort of a vehicle, it is приехать. Приехать. So you'll have to change it into the past tense for male gender. And by car, you can either say on car or in car. He just arrived by car. Он только что приехал на машине. You can also say он только что приехал в машине. That's also fine. Он только что приехал на машине. Let's see some new words here. The word for food is еда. Еда. The word for order is заказ. Заказ. And so to have ordered is заказать. Заказать. And also, people don't say this in English. Now will be. And where is the food? Now will be. I just ordered. So in English, it doesn't sound natural, but I phrase it this way because when you would translate it into Russian verbatim, it would sound very natural in Russian. And where is the food? Now will be. I just ordered. And also instead of and, let's use а. А где еда? Сейчас будет. Я только что заказала. А где еда? Сейчас будет. Я только что заказала. You ordered only meat with rice? No, fish too. I don't remember what gender I wanted this, and I should have also told you if it's formal or informal. I don't know, your choice. I believe it's male informal. Also, the word for rice in Russian is рис, and so, but with rice is с рисом. С рисом. We have to put it in the instrumental case. You ordered only meat with rice? No, fish too. Ты заказал только мясо с рисом? Нет, рыбу тоже. Ты заказал только мясо с рисом? Нет, рыбу тоже. Notice it's rыбу because it goes back to like he ordered fish, and so we have a verb acting on fish, so we have to change its case to accusative case, I think. Um, so yeah, so if you said нет, рыба тоже, that doesn't sound quite grammatically accurate, although you will be understood. Man, I made a lot of these. We keep going. Today we are going to a restaurant. I also want to go with you. So let's see, we are going. For go, let's use the verb идти. And so we are going in the past tense becomes мы идем. And to a restaurant, let's phrase it as in restaurant. Сегодня мы идем в ресторан. Я тоже хочу идти с вами. С вами because obviously it was a group of people going, so he is he wants to, so this is like a plural you, with you as in and the you is plural. Сегодня мы идем в ресторан. Я тоже хочу идти с вами. All right, this is the last slide. Anyway, curious what you guys think about this video. I threw a lot at you here. I don't know. Do you like the videos that are kind of challenging, or do you want them more basic so that you can focus only on the things that you are learning at the moment? Maybe that's something we can discuss in class. All right, see you on Sunday.